This week on TechRap, Apple buys Beats for $3 billion. LG launches the G3 with laser autofocus, but it isn't the aluminum phone we expected. And it's battle of the personal chauffeur services, Uber versus GrabCar. Which one is right for you? Hi, I'm Michael Josh, and this is TechRap, your weekly source for tech news, gadget reviews, app recommendations, and social media tips. Apple announces plans to buy Beats for $3 billion, the biggest acquisition in Apple's history. While Beats is probably more well-known for its headphone business, it looks like Apple will be using the service to ramp up its efforts in the music streaming business. Streaming services like Pandora and Spotify continue to grow, while Apple's iTunes Radio has been pretty much stagnant. Beats launched its music service via iOS, Android, and Windows Phone apps in January of 2014. It would be pretty interesting to see Apple develop apps for Android and Windows Phone. As part of the acquisition, Beats co-founders Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine will join the Cupertino-based company. Iovine says, quote, "I've always known in my heart that Beats belonged with Apple. The deal is expected to be completed by the end of the year." LG unveiled its new flagship smartphone, the LG G3, in separate launch events in the US, UK, Korea, Singapore, and Turkey. In terms of flagship smartphones, the G3 is unmatched in terms of technical specs. The 5.5-inch smartphone is the first to sport a Quad HD display. That's 4 times the resolution of HD, an impressive 538 pixels per inch. The phone is packed with a 2.5 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 801 processor with 2 or 3 gigabytes of RAM, 16 or 32 gigabytes of disk space, and a 3000 mAh battery. The G3 sports the same 13-megapixel OIS camera, but with a new technology called laser-autofocus. LG promises it will recognize depth and help the camera focus faster than ever before. The smartphone debuts LG's drastically pared-down user interface, which feels flatter and less gimmicky. LG's Tap to Unlock feature, not code, that first appeared on the G Pro 2 also makes its way to the G3. One disappointment, however, was the phone's build. While initial teasers made the phone out to be an aluminum-like phone like the HTC One M8, the phone actually comes with a plastic back with a metallic finish. The phone will come in black, white, gold, purple, and red when it launches globally sometime this year. It is already available in South Korea. No steering wheel or pedals. This is the touted promise of Google's new self-driving car. Its driverless navigation is achieved using computers and onboard sensors. If you think this is old news, this move is actually different from Google's previous attempts at self-driving cars that featured Lexus or Toyotas, which were retrofitted to become self-driving. Google plans on building around 100 prototypes, with safety drivers beginning testing early versions with manual controls. Following the successful release of its Gear line of wearables that include fitness tracking functionality, Samsung looks to expand its focus to health tracking, calling it the single greatest opportunity of our generation. At an event in San Francisco this week, the company revealed new hardware called the SimBand, worn like a watch. The device has sensors on its bottom that track a user's heart rate and oxygen levels, among other vital signs. A research firm says global smartphone sales will jump 23% this year to more than 1.2 billion units, fueled by growth of low-cost handsets in emerging markets. An IDC survey says smartphone sales will maintain an annual growth rate of 12.3% through 2018. Much of the growth is coming from low-cost devices using the Android operating system. With Apple's market share eroding, Microsoft Windows making modest gains, and BlackBerry fading further.
This feature is brought to you by Samsung.
When upgrading your computer or laptop, swapping your hard drive to a solid-state drive is the most surefire way of ensuring a performance boost. Old hard drives have spinning platters, plates that resemble compact discs that spin each time data is being accessed or created. Solid-state drives, on the other hand, have no moving parts, and as a result, your drive is faster, quieter, lighter, and consumes less power. On the flip side, SSDs are much more expensive, and so the challenge now is for high-performance SSDs that are more affordable. Samsung makes the 840 EVO. The 255GB SSD retails for just under 10,000 pesos. Installing a new SSD isn't difficult. First, you'll need a conversion kit. Basically, that's just a SATA to USB cable and transfer software. You can buy them from the likes of SanDisk. Samsung provides a cable with its laptop upgrade kit. Connect the cable to your SSD and then to your computer and run the bundled software. Once you've cloned your drive, it's now time to perform a little bit of operation on your laptop. We're upgrading one of Rappler's production laptops. Each laptop will have a different hard drive location. Some will have easy access panels that you can unscrew and pop off. Hard drives are usually mounted on brackets to hold them in place. Unscrew the brackets so that you can remove the hard drive. The hard drive will be connected via a SATA cable. Be careful not to pull too hard. Gently pull on the connector, not the wires. Once done, you're halfway there. Remove the hard drive from the bracket and replace it with your SSD. Then connect the SATA cable to the SSD, screw back, replace the cover, and you're done. Boot up the device and it will be like it was before, only faster. If you're no stranger to public transportation, you've probably heard of Uber and its recent competitor, GrabCar. This week, we took both services on a test drive to see which one was better. There are times when finding a taxi can be quite a chore. Thankfully, there are apps like Easy Taxi and Grab Taxi that help connect passengers to drivers and vice versa. But if you're looking for a step up, then there are apps like Uber and GrabCar which allow you to hire a driver and a premium car and pay per trip. Today, we're going to try out both services and see which one is better. Okay, so the GrabCar service is actually built into the Grab Taxi app. And so to get started, let's go ahead and just enter the destination. Let's go ahead and select GrabCar now. I'm going to go ahead and click next and see if we can get a car. It will give us an estimate, 311 pesos for the trip, so I'm going to confirm that. As you can see, the estimated cost has gone down to 273 pesos, and right now we're just waiting for a driver to respond to my request. There you go, we got a driver. So as you can see, the cost is 273 pesos. That's the plate number of our driver. He's about half a kilometer away. So go ahead and click what's next. As you can see, we got a text message from Grab. Thank you for using GrabCar. Please pay 273. That's my driver. Let me go ahead and answer the call. So that was my driver. As you can see, I was still taking a look at the booking information and he automatically called me up. He wants to find out where exactly it is that I am. He told me that he's a couple of streets down. So let's go ahead and pick up my bag and let's hop in to the car. Okay, so we're here inside our GrabCar. It's a Camry. The thing about GrabCar is you don't really know what car you're going to get, and usually you're up for a big surprise. Another thing I like about GrabCar is that they give you a bottle of water. They have the special GrabCar water. It's a small touch, but it goes a long way in ensuring that you do feel comfortable during your ride. So this is what the app looks like. We're in transit, as you can see. That's the name of our driver. That's his photo over there. And that's us on the map. And that checkered flag over there is where we are headed. So we're here at our destination. We paid in cash. Grab Taxi or GrabCar requires that you pay in cash and not use a credit card. Okay, I'm done. New haircut, let's grab some coffee, and then let's find an Uber home. Okay, we got our coffee. Now it's time to go home. And this time around, we're taking an Uber. Now, Uber's been around for a while, but in the Philippines, just less than 6 months. They launched earlier this year. And over the last month or so, there have been a couple of changes to the service. I've used Uber a lot, including their app. A recent update to the Uber app has brought around the new flat design interface that we've seen in plenty of apps that have updated recently. As you can see, there's already a pin on the map where I am based on my GPS location, and I don't have to enter my destination. And we've been assigned a driver. His name is James. He drives a Toyota Camry. That's his plate number. And it looks like that's probably him over there. We can track his progress. Anytime now, he should also call us to try to get more detailed information about where we are. The only challenge with us not having to enter our exact address is that the GPS information can be a little bit inaccurate sometimes, and sometimes drivers, Uber drivers, have a difficulty in finding their passengers. So it's always important to try to make contact with your driver. Okay, so like I said earlier, if you're taking an Uber, you have to call your driver because the GPS will screw up. Our driver is a little bit lost. He didn't end up exactly where we expected him to be. This is the Uber experience. I've been a user from their early days when they launched in the Philippines. You get a nice car with plush leather seats, really wide, spacious car. The driver is instructed not to bother you unless spoken to, although I don't mind. I love talking to our Uber drivers. Usually you'd get a car like this. In fact, in the earlier days, I did even get to ride a couple of Mercedes-Benzes. But that's not the case. In fact, these days you'd be hard-pressed to find a Toyota Camry like this one. In my most recent trips, I ended up with a Ford Focus and a Toyota Corolla, which are pretty great cars, but not the high-end premium cars that I was used to. Those cars actually you can find on the competing service, GrabCar. This is what the user's app looks like. There are a couple of buttons up top. This one over here is the split fare button. If I press that, it will list all my contacts and I can send them an email message asking if I want to split the fare. So if I was riding with someone, I could split the fare, although Uber would charge us 10 pesos each for that transaction. So, in the battle of pay-per-trip chauffeur services, which company comes out the winner? We rank based on the following criteria. First, the app experience. We give this one to Uber. Their app is more refined, has more features, and makes it easier for users to book a trip. We especially like not having to enter a destination, meaning drivers can't discriminate. Uber lets you see how far away a driver is before you book a trip and tells you what kind of car to expect. Next, the trip itself. While for some stroke of coincidence, we got a Toyota Camry from both services today, generally, based on experience, Uber has switched to mid-range cars, while GrabCar offers more high-end vehicles. We wouldn't nitpick, but considering that you pay a premium for the service, the more premium the car, the better. And in this category, GrabCar wins. And last, price. Our trip from Ortigas to Rockwell cost us 270 pesos on GrabCar, and the return trip on Uber cost us 280 pesos. The trip was pretty even. Pricing varies depending on the trip, but we like the fact that GrabCar's pricing is fixed and not dependent on how heavy traffic is. We're also not a fan of Uber's surge pricing. We once had to pay 2 times the cost of an Uber trip because of surge pricing. For that exact same route, we paid 507 pesos. For that reason, we give this round to GrabCar. And with 2 out of 3 rounds, GrabCar is the winner of this battle. Just one more note. The service is mostly available only in the Fort, Makati, and Ortigas. I'd be fiercely loyal to whomever can expand to Manila and Quezon City. And that was TechRap. For the latest tech news, visit Rappler.com/technology. Follow Rappler.com on social media. conversation online. And if you have any tech questions, send them over. Email address techrap@rappler.com. That's all for this week, folks. I'm Michael Josh. Thanks,